Chairman of National Population Family Development Board, Muhammad UTN, International Business School, University of Technology Malaysia, Ms. Karen Smith, founder of Let's Grow Australia, our co-organizers Global Event Asia, Malaysia Institute of Accountants, and Women Management Institute Malaysia, distinguished presenter, valued participants, and friendly media. I would like to welcome all of you to Empowering Women Leadership, Growing the Skills of Women in Leadership, 10 October 2013, International Business School, UTM, Kuala Lumpur. Ladies and gentlemen, that are here. On this auspicious occasion, with much respect, we would like to invite Nabi Bahagia Tan Sri Professor Dr. Muhammad Zulkifli bin Tan Sri Muhammad Ghazali, International Business School, University of Technology Malaysia, for his welcoming note.
To the budding Deputy Dean from IDS, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I was called upon to do a certain task, and that is to give a welcoming note on behalf of the International Business School. And of course, they, as normal, they will give me a prepared text for the speech. But after having a short discussion with Ms. Karen Smith and also with our honorable guest, Tan Sri Dr. Nasir Omar, I thought it might be best just to cut it short and to do my piece of work and to allow the honorable Dr. Nasir Omar and also Ms. Karen Smith to do the job, because I think normally I say there are roses among the thorns, but today I feel there is a thorn among the roses. So I'm not sure how to go about it. Anyway, first of all, I would like to welcome all of you, especially if you are not from UTM, I'm not sure, okay, to University of Technology Malaysia. This is we call it the old UTM here in this hall, and then also to our International Business School, because I understand that this is also like partly or jointly, or there is an International Business School role in the whole seminar. And also to welcome to this seminar. And the seminar is of course empowering women leadership, and the theme is growing the skills of women in leadership. We are of course very honored with the presence of two women which are closely associated with the word leadership. First is of course Tan Sri Dr. Nasir Omar, who is here as the president of the Women Institute of Management Malaysia, and who has not only been involved in leadership, with leadership and political leadership, but she has also been the Minister of Public Enterprise from 1987 to 1990, and the Minister of National Unity and Social Development from 1990 to 1995. And all along, during the 13 years from, I'm not sure of it, she has also been a Member of Parliament from 1982 until 1995, which is a period of about 13 years. So that is actually a huge achievement, not only for women actually, but even for any man. To be a Member of Parliament for so long, to be Deputy Ministers. I heard she was once an academic, only for 1 year, shifting from Felda to University Putra Malaysia. Last time was maybe University Pertanian. And after that, she was a bit of politics. And after the election, immediately appointed as a deputy leader. That shows her leadership attributes, her leadership characteristics. And I think when you talk about empowering women, I must also not forget about UTM itself. We have the International Business School. The dean is of course a man, Professor Hassan, he's away in India, but the deputy dean is a woman. And the ex-deputy dean also a woman. And I understand that the budding deputy dean is also a woman. And the one in charge of the MBA program is also a woman. So I see myself not only now, but every day or almost when I'm in office, surrounded by women. At least my secretary is also a woman. So actually women empowerment is there, especially in Malaysia. And if you look at many leaders now, even in Korea now, the president is a woman. Of course, India we know is like a male-dominant society, I think so. But they had Indira Gandhi, England has Margaret Thatcher, and Philippines have their leaders. Even our close neighbor, Indonesia, has Megawati. Megawatts is very, very big watts. It's actually a very powerful leader. Okay? So, woman leadership is actually here to stay. And if I look at myself, many people say that man is actually the general, but there is the word. Man makes general decision. The wife sometimes makes the major decision. And she is only a major in the setup. But you ask the children, say, oh, the leader is the mother. Yeah? What the mother says goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, our second woman of the day today is, of course, Mrs. Karen Smith. She's the seminar leader. She has written, I'm just reading from there, you have written actually 2 books, at least on leadership, Lessons in Leading from the Garden, and Keep Them Keen. I haven't read this book, but when I look at it, I know she must be a very good gardener. And number 2, although the gardener normally cares and love the plants, but you better be careful. She can also trim those plants to shape them according to what she wants. And I'm not sure, I haven't read your book, but I'm thinking ahead. And second, said keep them keen. Leaders need followers. If the followers are not keen on the leadership, you are not leader. You may be the best person, you may be very courageous, you may have many medals, but if you don't have followers, you are not a leader. And of course, you don't have to be in a position of leadership to be called a leader. They say, also in Islam, they say, we are all leaders, and we must behave as a leader in our respective field. So of course, I do not want to talk too much, but I have to say something about IBS, because that's why they asked me to say something on behalf of IBS. Otherwise, the deputy dean, so the woman here, Dr. Noshida, say, oh, why didn't you say something about IBS and about UTM? Okay? So IBS is of course offering the MBA programs, and I understand so women's college now is also offering. So I told the lady that said, oh, you are our rival, and we are today. But actually it's not about rival. It's not about rivalry. In life now, it is always a win-win situation. Okay, I teach negotiation and decision making. Also in negotiation, it is never a win-lose. If you are in a win-lose position, you will not go far. You must be in a win position. And number 2, that is what we call, if you are in a negotiation and you win a lot, never tell that aside. What is your surplus? Something that is above your reserve point. Always tell them, okay, you are satisfied, I'm satisfied, so we are friends. Okay? If they feel that they have been cheated, or slightly cheated, or there is unethical thing that has gone through, then I think the building of trust and relationship will not be there. And both sides will actually become lose-lose. So, of course, you have the pamphlets about IBS, but IBS is also doing a lot of leadership. I have also a PhD student doing leadership. And setting the framework for leadership, we of course put like, you must have a vision, you must have a strategy, you must have a structure, because the close people around you will determine. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I also have to inform that Transri Dr. Naksha actually just arrived from Los Angeles, and that's why she was slightly late. I'm sure she will apologize later, but I was amazed that she came direct from Los Angeles. If I were her, I would have the power to be here, to be like jet lag and so on. Anyway, she's here, and she's an example of woman in leadership, or might be powerful woman in leadership. And she has been powerful before, and I'm sure she will, through the Women Institute, she will also be there. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I think on behalf of IBS, of UTM, I just say welcome to UTM, welcome to IBS, and I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to call or just pass back to Mr. Saravanan. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
To invite Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Dr. Nasir Omar.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all of you. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Zulkifli bin Tan Sri Muhammad Ghazali, yang saya muliakan Miss Karen Smith, Dr. Noshida, Yang Berbahagia Dr. Noshida, Associate Professor Dr. Noshida Muhammad, the Deputy Dean International Business School, University Technology Malaysia, my associate Dr. Sharon Tong from the Women's Institute of Management, professors, teachers, and participants of this seminar. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for being late. Saya minta maaf banyak-banyak sebenarnya. I really planned to come because when the topic is on women, empowering and leadership, wow, I just have a surge of love and I want to come. But unfortunately, on Friday last week, I flew from Kuala Lumpur to Narita, wait 8 hours, took another plane to Los Angeles because I wanted to attend the wedding of my niece. So I said I'll cut short my holidays and come back the next day on the 7th to come back. But my sister lived in a small town called Truckee in California. And so we had to go from Truckee to Reno. That's about an hour. I was there very early in the morning, but American Airlines, this is, the leadership of American Airlines, forgot that there's a small town called Reno, and they didn't say that for 3 days they canceled flights out of Reno without telling people in advance. And there was no storm, there was no snow, And so I said, how am I going to get out? Anyway, they managed to get me out and said, look, you go and sleep in Los Angeles. And from Los Angeles, we'll put you on a plane on British Airways to London. And from London, take Malaysian Airways to fly to Kuala Lumpur. And now here I am, after flying 10 hours and plus 13 hours. And I thought, as soon as I arrived, I can come back here. But my God, the traffic, it was almost crawling, Apa doa membaca, tak boleh juga jalan, tak buka kat jalan. Harap biasa. Saya minta jalan tu buka lah, tak juga buka. Jadi anyway, I'm glad now I'm here because I feel you are all important people. You are the future leaders of this country. And first and foremost, I must congratulate the organizers for organizing this. And also to say thank you and also to congratulate Ms. Karen Smith for making this trip to come and talk to us and share with us her experiences and her expertise. I would also like to thank the school for inviting me to come and give a talk. I suppose you assume I'm a teacher. But I must make one correction. I do not hold a PhD. I only have I'll tell you a story about that. I was teaching at University UPM for 10 years. I have my master's, but to continue teaching at that particular time, you have to have your PhDs. So I decided, I told my husband, Banjit, I want to go to America, I want to continue to do my PhD. I'm a nutritionist by training, but if you look at me, now, the trouble is that barbers cannot cut their own hair, you see. When I finished, when I wanted to do, I've already got a place, I think this is in New York, upstate New York, to do my PhD. My husband looked at me and said, please, for the sake of the children, do stay. The children need you. And he said, you can do anything in the world, I'll support you. But please do not leave the country. So okay, fine, I will leave teaching, I said, but he didn't bargain for it. I went into politics. And then, well, the rest is the story. So that's what happened. I left University Pertanian in 1982 on a 24 hours notice, because at that time, somebody in the... You see, I came in by accident also, because this is politics, you see, and this is also another game. They wanted to replace somebody whom they didn't like, and so they said, if you want to replace me, that person said, you must get someone who has better qualification than me. So they looked around and they saw me. So one day somebody just phoned me and said, will you be happy to come in as a member of parliament to stand for election? Yes, I said, I'm happy to become a member of parliament. So immediately I had to put in my resignation, 24 hours, and then fill out the forms. And the next day was nominated as a member of for the seat for Kuala Pilah. A small town. I come from a small town, Kuala Pilah. I will tell you my story. You may get all your theories from Miss Karen Smith on leadership, but experience, I will tell you. From a small town in Kuala Pilah. The important thing is that, let me first tell you something that I think I should begin by saying on this topic about empowering women and leadership, is that what Michelle Bachelet said, who is the former director for United Nations Women's Office. And she said, we can no longer afford to waste the potential of half the world's population. It is a matter of justice as well as good business and good economic sense. So, any nation that neglects its women are on the path to disaster. Thank God for Malaysia, our government have been good. While women leaders before me, you know, they have been very strong-minded. This is not the strength when I say about strong, but it's the indomitable will, you know, and that capacity to fight. So we have women in Malaysia today have equal pay for equal work. At one time, I remember, if you are a teacher, temporary teacher, you get married, you know what happened? You never get a permanent job. Yes, but today, thank God for all the women before us, have, you know, Tun, Fatima, Hashim, Ashraf Ghani, so many for me to recall, but they have opened up the path so that you and I are able to walk. Diorang dah pungut duri-duri, kaca-kaca supaya kita boleh jalan dengan selamat. Alhamdulillah hari ini. Thank God today. These pathfinders, the early women, have picked up all the thorns, all the bits and pieces that would harm us have been removed so that you and I can have a clear path. But still, it is still not clear. Now let me tell you that every year in Malaysia, 500,000 babies are born. And that includes you and I. And also this professor. But each of these babies that are born into this world today are heirs. H-E-I-R-S. Are heirs to an inheritance of what human civilization have accumulated all over the centuries. And this information, art, sciences, mathematics, culture, architecture, what have you, they are all there for you and I to choose. You can learn anything under the world if you have the will. Don't limit yourself. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Because today, you are very lucky because you have cyberspace. When I was born in the year BC, before computers. But because of my tenacity and the need for me to have my horizons open up and my vision open up, my God, I see a world. I feel I don't have enough time. There's so many things to learn to do. From a small town, Kampung Jawa, Kampung Gemuruh in Kuala Pilah, I want to say thank you. I want to pay homage and remember all my teachers who taught me ABC, my alphabet. Because with that alphabet, I'm able to read. And that's why, Prof, I would really like we should go back to English. In the 70s, we left the English language. And we lost a number of good students, I think, at that time. Because the English language is the language of knowledge, the international language. It doesn't mean you're less of a Malay if you don't speak, if you speak English. So ladies, just think about that. When I know how to read, my God, every book I have, I read. I used to keep, my mother would give me 20 cents a day to naik basikal pergi sekolah, kadang-kadang jalan kaki. Now that 20 cents I keep because every week there is from England a magazine called Women's Weekly. And my shop, Hip Guan, in Kuala Pilah on Lister Road, I will order a copy of that weekly. Because of the stories, serial stories. Also the love stories, of course. I was in a world of my own, And my mother would be looking for me. Ma, no, budak kat ngah ni. That is the Negeri Sembilan lingo, because I'll be reading away. Now the world is open for me when I read. I know about Mahatma Gandhi. I know about Sukarno. Yeah, and and when I was doing my schooling in Form 5, at that stage, I think it was in the late 50s. My mother and my father were saying, "Hey, ada orang datang meminang. Someone has asked for your hand in marriage, I was 16, I think, at that time. You know why at that time, Prof? If you are an army officer and you marry and nikah at that time is nikah gantung. Yes, I think so. Isn't it? Yeah. Huh? When you nikah gantung, that is marriage, hanging marriage, Karen, you are married but you don't live together with the husband. Because at that time, when you nikah gantung, you can get an allowance from the government. Because your husband is working with the military, the army. You see? So I said, no, I'm not going to get married. So I pleaded with my father and I said, please send me to Australia. Because I said, if I were to get married here at the age of 16, I will have children all around me, and I will be able to see the moon and the stars. He agreed to send me to Australia. I said, just send what you can. I worked when I was there. I babysit. I do all sorts of work to go to school in Australia. And I went to the Australian National University in Canberra, way back in the 70s. So you can calculate my age. I've actually done 2 lots of 30 years. In my first 30 years, I educate myself. My parents helped me in educating myself. The next, I also included, at the end of my last 30 years, I got married and started having children. The next lot of 30 years, I taught at university and I went into politics. And I did all the things that I wanted to do. Because my world is open, my vision has been widened. The more I see, the more I want to do. At that time, it was the women's emancipation. Women in the West were burning their bras, but I couldn't because it was quite heavy. You never burn your bras. And but even without burning your bras, you can open the way and pave the ways. The thing is that when you see things done, you want it to be done in your place. I was very happy when I was in Australia. I worked all sorts of jobs, and that gave me the experience, that gave me the knowledge, that also gave me information. So reading from books is something else, but experience is something else. These are very important, I feel. So I'm going out of my text, Prof. I hope you don't mind. Now, because I feel there are some, you can pick up the theories in there. You must have education. You must have self-knowledge, which is important. And the other thing is you must have the passion in you to be a leader that you want to do. So when I came back, when I was in Australia, let me tell you the things that I do, and I don't think my mother knows. I formed a little company with some friends in the summer months, and we dig drains. And we got some money for that. When the holidays are over, we dismantle the company. We got some pocket money to go on to school. Or I will go and work on a farm to become a housekeeper. I look after children. At the same time, they asked me to look after sheep. Can you imagine? It was in the Nilluquin. Yeah, you know where that is? Yeah. Huge area, it was 16,000 acres or something like that, and they got sheep on the land. And they said, oh, can you run out the sheep that they just gave birth? I'm not going to do that. Go on a horse. So I went on a horse without much training. I just got onto the horse. By the evening when I come back, I was walking like that. Never been on a horse. But thank God. You see, in the Nilluquin, the farmers, Karen will vouch for that, the houses are so far from one to the other. And so I would climb up on top of the roof, there's steps there, and I look, because I have no company at all. When I see dust rolling, I say, ha, we are going to have friends coming. You know, that's how it is. That's how I spend my summer months. But that gives me experience, that gives me knowledge, and gives me the exposure to be what I am today. When I came back, I thought I'd come back and teach, but Felda, I worked with Felda for a while, because that was the only place to a job, and I wanted to be with people. I was doing botany and science, and frogs was my forte, you know. I used to work with frogs. I used to catch the tadpoles in the snowy mountains. And then see how the frogs grow and look at their, I think it was their circulatory system, you know, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, when I came back, I worked for Felda. And in Felda, what do I want to do? It is giving land to the landless, settling these women. And they gave me the job to look after the women. And when I look at that, I feel sorry for these women. Because they have nothing, they have very little knowledge about hygiene, about sanitation, about child development. So when there was an opening, when Tan Sri Rashdan at that time invited me and said, come and teach at University UPM, I went to University UPM and started the School of the Faculty of Human Ecology, where we teach young women to become extension leaders in agriculture, so that they can go out and work with women, like in the Felda scheme, and also in the other kampungs. But I don't know what happened now, extension in agriculture, maybe they have faded it out, I don't know. Because why? Because I saw in Australia that farmers are the richest people. And the other thing I want to put in here is that authentic leaders, that's very important. This is a new concept that's been discussed a lot. And I look back, and in the American literature, it's written, way back in 2004, 2002 maybe, about authenticity. It is something that has to do with candor, with your own. You must have your own sincerity about it too, authentic. But I must also say there must be authentic followership. If there isn't, the authentic leaders can also be sidetracked. You know what I mean? Sorry, Prof. I mean, take an example. If a bridge costs, say, 2 million, somebody has got the dollar sign in the eyes, and this engineer is not an authentic leader, what happens? The bridge will collapse. You may have the formula for the cement and the concrete that you want to put in. But if the dollar sign is greater in your eyes, this is where I think you have to be an authentic leader. You have to search in yourself. This is something that you can learn. You can learn the skills, but it has to come from you. There are things in leadership that it has to come from you. You cannot learn it in a day, you cannot learn, but Ms. Karen Smith will give you the skills. She gave me the skills. Trust is another thing. Trust is another thing. And trust, you cannot learn trust. You have to earn it. You cannot. Sorry, Mr. Kumar, I think I've overshot my time. But one thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you love to do something, do it. Don't let anything stop you. Well, I think you are on a journey. Each one of us is on a journey. But let me tell you, in the field of leadership, there is no finishing line. It is you who have that feeling of self-satisfaction, of fulfillment. It is only you who can see this. So I won't take much more of your time. I would like to thank the school for inviting me. Dan kalau ada salah silap, saya minta ampun dan maaf. But I feel honored and privileged to be invited to come and address you all. So and with that, and I hope you will all be successful in your life. So thank you very much, Prof. and all.
To honor a souvenir to Yang Berbahagi Tan Sri Datuk Nafsia Omar, Chairman of President of Women Institute of Management Malaysia. Thank you, Yang Berbahagi Tan Sri.